Hello everybody, how are you? Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and how you all had a chance to spend some valuable time with your family and get to eat a lot of food. So today I want to kind of do a little recap on ankylosing spondylitis and my experience. So, and what I wish I had done, and what I wish things can be diagnosed and moved quicker. And in my previous video I talked about how when my AS condition started, I started having pain when I was roughly about 13-ish, and mine were my AS came from my dad, so it's genetic. My dad has ankylosing spondylitis and kind of passed it on to me, and my sister as well. I have 4 siblings, only me and one of my sister has it. 2 of the other one does not. So that tells you, even if it's genetic, it's different. And I know there's some other people basically just kind of develop it from out of nowhere. At least that's from my dad as well, because I know in my generation, since my grandfather and great-grandfather, or grandma and great-grandma, and their family does not have any ankylosing spondylitis, but they do have some minor rheumatoid arthritis that kind of comes and go. But that's very common for many people to have arthritis. And my condition started when I was like I said, in a very young age, 13-ish. But my sister did not start having any of the symptoms until much later on in the year, in the 30s. So it kind of varies from people to people. Now I started hurting on my hips, not directly on the spine, but mainly it was on my hips. And I think that's the deceiving part of this condition is, ankylosing spondylitis is basically a condition that affects the spine. But in my case, or probably many other people as well, it's not started on the spine. So unfortunately, it's really hard to diagnose that it's ankylosing spondylitis. We all have pains here and there, and it's easily mistaken that it could be any kind of condition. So you could have just hurted yourself from a fall, from just overwork, twist of your back, whatever the case. But unfortunately, it probably take years to diagnose, and that's what happened with my condition. Is it didn't get diagnosed until at least 10 years later. I have gone through many different doctors, many different pain medications, and even went to the Children's Hospital when I was young. They took a lot of images, and they have not given me a exact diagnosis. It was ankylosing spondylitis, but they did say it was junior arthritis, and been giving me a lot of non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs. And it works in the beginning, but as the condition progresses, non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug is just not going to hold up. So yeah, it's not until later on, I became an adult, and then I went to see an adult doctor. Yeah, so when you're not a kid anymore, you can't go to the children's hospital anymore. So he diagnosed me with AS, and he put me on biologics right away. At that time, I was on Remicade, and it works well. Now, by the time he put me on Remicade, my hips was already pretty badly damaged, and I already needed both hip replacement. So that's why I was hoping, and I wish that there's some kind of diagnose much sooner, because the sooner you get treatment, the sooner you get the diagnose, the sooner you get treatment, the more prevention it can be, because there's a possibility that biologic can actually save both of my hips. But unfortunately, it's not, like I said, it's not an easily diagnosed condition. So it does take years of the disease progression into a certain part of the area, as well as when it starts having inflammation on the spine. That's when pretty much doctors would say it's ankylosing spondylitis. But like I said, it took me many years before it actually started on my spine, and it can move on to other joints as well. And ultimately in my 30s, it actually got to my shoulders, and I had to have both of the shoulders replaced as well. So yeah, it is a pretty bad disease. Now, what I wish I have, well, I wished that the medical advancement, they can detect these a lot sooner, but there's really no indicators that says, oh, it's you take a blood test or take some imaging and say, oh, it's AS. So kind of doctors have to go through the history and the conditions, and kind of monitor the inflammation, where the pain is moved on, before they said it's ankylosing spondylitis. So yeah, I do wish the sooner I got the diagnosis, and the sooner I get on treatment, and possibly the sooner that the medication will work, and it can prevent many of the damages that's already been done. And the damages that's done, it's irreversible. So it's not like I get on biologics and all of a sudden the body can heal the hip damage, or the shoulder damage, or the rib cage damage. It's not. So unfortunately. Now, the other thing I wish I have done is, again, I mentioned this in the earlier video, I had been young and naive, and yes, I have been young before, and we all know we all been young before. And if you're young, I don't tend to listen too well to doctors or parents. And my dad has ankylosing spondylitis, so he has some experience. He told me some of the things he would do, but I don't really listen. So simple things like taking some bone health vitamins, and eat a lot of the non-anti-inflammatory foods, and avoid inflammatory foods. I don't listen to those too well, so I wasn't really taking many of the supplements or the vitamins, which I should. Things like, just simple things like vitamin D, vitamin C, calcium. Those can certainly improve the strength of the bones, and kind of probably give the disease a little bit more of a fight. But I don't really listen, and I do eat a lot of meat in my young age. That's like a lot of young people, and meats have a lot of inflammatory substance and all other things that technically it tastes good, but it's really not as healthy as it should be. Being young, should eat more vegetable. That's what I wish I have done, is avoid some of those inflammatory foods and take more of the non-inflammatory foods. So if anybody who is young and who have kids or family that is young who have AS, that's probably one of the suggestions I can give you, is trying to tell them to eat more non-inflammatory foods and eat less of the inflammatory foods. But still need to balance their diet for sure. Vitamins is probably quite essential. So take some vitamins and hopefully keep the bones healthy and improve the immune system. I know ankylosing spondylitis is an autoimmune condition. It's technically an overactive immune system, and so it sounded like, hey, we have a super overactive immune system. That would be great, because it helps us fight the disease. But no, it actually is the other way around. Overactive can attack us. So it's like too many of a good thing is not a good thing. So yeah, so I do suggest that the vitamins and all that stuff, if anybody is young and trying to make them understand the disease more, it is very bad. The other thing, like I said, is I do wish doctors can get it diagnosed sooner. The sooner they get diagnosed, the quicker they can put them on a treatment, and hopefully can prevent less damages to the body. But the good thing about being today's medical science is medical advancement is there's a lot more drugs out there nowadays. At least there's 5 biologics that treats the AS and rheumatoid arthritis, and there's other inhibitors that can be used as a treatment as well. The IL-17 and the JAK inhibitors, where it's not available in the past. My mind is blanked again. I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, right. Finding the right doctor, rheumatologist, is very important as well. And the right rheumatologist will, of course, get you more diagnosis, more imaging, more tests to get you the correct diagnosis and put you on the right treatment. So it is very important to kind of seek out a right rheumatologist. It's always good to go for a second opinion. If you have any doubts about a doctor that's not giving you the right diagnosis, you can always go for a second opinion or look for another doctor. And I noticed the doctors and appointment is very hard to get these days with any kind of doctor. So my other suggestion is you got to be a little proactive. Keep on searching, keep on pushing the doctors, and see if they have any open appointments, or trying to see if you can push them for other imagings or tests to help you further define the condition. And hopefully some of the doctors were willing to work with you. I know some of them are not. But yeah, be a little proactive on trying to get a doctor's appointment. It helps a lot. So yeah, AS is it's a pretty bad disease. It can do a lot of damage, but again, like everything else, not everybody is treated equally, and unfortunately, it could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing in the medical field. So there are people who has ankylosing spondylitis, but their condition is very mild, which is good, and I wish everybody is mild. Unfortunately, in my case, it's actually quite severe, and I know, being in these social media groups, I can see quite a lot of people are actually having, you know, pretty severe conditions as well. There's a lot more medications out there, so the medical future is looking bright, at least. Unfortunately, there's still no cure. It's only treatment to manage or pains, and I believe in some cases like mine, even under treatment, it's still progressing. But it is very good for some people. Actually, it can help them stop their progression. In my case, it didn't. It's still progressing. I just slowed it down. My spine is still fused, but it took 10 years. I don't know. I don't have a number for you. I'm not on biologics, so I still end up with a complete fused spine. But like I said, you know, there's a lot more drugs out there, and actually help some of the people out there to stop their progressions completely. So it's good. So anyway, that's all the video today. If you like my video, please give me a like. It would help out the video, the algorithm. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. I would have some more videos coming out. I have other medical conditions I want to talk about as well. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Take care of yourself and have a good day. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.